It was during this time that George Pullman built his empire.
Take the roughest man and bring him into a room elegantly carpeted and furnished, and the effect upon his bearing is immediate.
Site of one of the most important battles in the U.S. labor movement.
Pullman is a living social organism as well as a physical historic resource. It is people and ideas and values as well as buildings and spaces and public facilities.
The Pullman car factory headquarters was gutted by fire.
That's the story of who we are. That's the story of our past. And I have no doubt that we will pass the torch from generation to generation so that it is the story of our future as well.
In the 1960s, Pullman stood at a crossroads. To some, it was old brick and fading industry. To others, it was home. Across America, historic neighborhoods were being cleared in the name of progress. In Pullman, demolition felt inevitable. But inside one church on the south side of Chicago, residents made a different choice. Here in the Greenstone Church, neighbors gathered. Not to mourn their town's past, but to fight for its future.
Pullman is a living social organism as well as a physical historic resource. It is people and ideas and values as well as buildings and spaces and public facilities.
Urban renewal plans threatened large sections of Pullman's historic worker housing. Developers saw opportunity. Residents saw erasure. Pullman was more than architecture. It was a rare, intact company town, a place where generations had lived, worked, and built community. Nearly 200 years after the American Revolution, Pullman residents found themselves in a struggle of their own, a fight for self-determination, not against a distant ruler, but against the demolition of their community. It was democracy at its most local, neighbors coming together to shape the future of the place they called home. In 1975, the crisis reached a symbol. The Hotel Florence, once the social heart of Pullman, faced sale and uncertainty. Residents rallied, they organized, and they refused to let it disappear. Out of that urgency came an institution, the Historic Pullman Foundation, now Friends of Pullman National Historical Park.
Who saves a landmark? We all do.
Preservation became activism, and activism became organization. In a country founded on citizen action, Pullman's preservationists were writing their own chapter of civic responsibility. Saving landmarks was only the beginning. The Pullman Civic Organization turned preservation into education. Residents learned how to care for brickwork, how to restore wood windows, how to respect the architectural rhythm of their block. This was not about freezing time, it was about stewardship, house by house, block by block. Pullman survived because its people became caretakers of history. In 1998, disaster struck again.
A piece of Chicago history is burning behind me right now. Within a few hours, it would seem, the old Pullman plant will be reduced to nothing but burned brick and rubble.
Fire engulfed the clock tower and administration building.
It was the last remaining structure of Chicago's Pullman Works, site of one of the most important battles in the U.S. labor movement.
For a moment, it seemed history might finally be lost. But Pullman had changed. Preservation was no longer a protest, it was a commitment.
Perhaps it can be rebuilt and the charred ruins restored.
people have dedicated a good part of their lives to restoring and preserving this rich fabric of our American history.
The building was restored and today stands as the headquarters of the National Park Service site that tells Pullman's story to the nation. A near loss became a symbol of resilience. Not every structure was saved. Market Hall burnt and remains a shell, a reminder that preservation is fragile. But even loss strengthens resolve. Preservation in Pullman did not end in the 1970s or the 1990s. It continues today in the careful redevelopment of the Hotel Florence.
It is a $100 million plan to restore a historic luxury hotel and reopen it.
In ongoing restoration projects, in the new generations learning why this place matters.
That's the story of who we are, that's the story of our past. And I have no doubt that we will pass the torch from generation to generation so that it is the story of our future as well.
Pullman is not preserved because it is perfect. It is preserved because people chose it.